Peace and blessings, brothers and sisters. Love and light. It's your brother, Omni Amanashi, also known as Omni Omnis. And here at the Omnivision EDU, we're focused on historical and scientific literacy for indigenous peoples. And we take a natural perspective here at Omnivision EDU, okay? Now, everything that I'm founded in, as far as my research and my knowledge and my belief, is based on naturalism. Okay, so I am a naturalist for you guys who are not familiar with me and Omnivision EDU. Okay, so anyway, this is independent research, and today's build is anti-evolution, and it's a continuation of my last video that I just did for individuals who may have any unanswered Q&A. All right, and it's just going to add on to the whole concept and showing you guys the correlation between evolution and de-evolution. So de-evolution or backwards evolution is the notion that a species can revert to a more primitive form over time. Now, the concept relates to the idea that evolution has a purpose and is progressive. Okay? Progressive evolutionary development. Evolution is the gradual development of a living organism from a simplistic to a more complex form over time. Now, this is what makes the concept progressive instead of anti-progressive. De-evolution is the descent or degeneration to a lower or worsened state. Synonyms: digression, deterioration, degeneration, decline, declension. A gene mutation is a digressive, degenerative biological change in a gene from its original state. Okay? Now, this is where the concept of recessive versus dominant genes stem from. All right? The antigen is a recessive mutant gene. Antibodies are human protein-based cells absent of genetic mutation. In biology, especially genetics, a mutant is an organism or a new genetic character that arises or results from an instant of mutation. Mutation is generally the alteration in DNA sequence of the genome and chromosomes of a living organism. Mutation is classified as de-evolution, okay? Backwards, anti-progressive biological development. A mutation, such as the Rh factor, which is a foreign invader cell from a separate species present in the DNA of some modern humans. Okay? This is de-evolution. A mutation is the abnormal growth of cells, chromosomes, and tissues. The Rh factor is a mutant gene. Now, mutagens, meaning mutant genes, are antigens and allelic genes. Okay? Antigens and allelic genes are mutagens. Medical definition: degeneration, the gradual deterioration of specific tissue, cells, and organs with corresponding impairments and loss of functionality. Biology: a de-evolutionary decline in the loss of functionality, characteristics, and structure in an organism species. Blood type, consisting of chemical and cellular composition, also known as genotype or gene type, translates into physical type, which are the physical observable characteristics. This is what determines human species group. So every set blood group has its own biological makeup, all right? It has its own biochemistry, its own genetic constitution. These are the biological ingredients that are responsible for who we are physiologically. Biochemistry is the branch of science concerned with the chemical and physiochemical processes and substances that occur within living organisms. The Rh incompatibility is a chemical reaction between native and foreign cells, between Rh carriers and individuals who are non-Rh carriers, so pure humans and hybrid humans. So we know that the cells consist of chemical and cellular composition. So there's a chemical incompatibility between the types of chemicals present in that particular blood group. Now, with mutation and mutagens comes different levels of immunity. A mutagen is a biochemical substance which creates genetic mutations. So, mutation results in less immunity. Blood groups that are absent of mutation are of the greatest immunity. So, to go from the original blood type, which is O, stands for oldest or original, to the A is a mutation. Okay, to go from two antibodies to one antibody is a mutation. The A blood group has a mutagen. Okay, the A blood group is the A because it's present with A mutagen. The B blood group is B blood group because it's present with B mutagen. The AB blood group is AB blood group because it's present with the A and B mutagen. AB blood group has two mutagens. It has the least immune defense. So the DNA has went through more anti-biological development in the case of that particular group. In contrast with the O blood type, which are the universal donors, they have two antibodies, which are the immune defenders, but they have no foreign cells from a separate species, no antigens. Okay, so they have no mutant genes. All right, consisting of zero antibodies, but two foreign cells from a separate species, which are the antigens. So the missing link between humans and apes in the evolution theory by Charles Darwin suggests that humanity evolved from a common ancestor. It is hypothesized that modern humans evolved from one species, primates, into a completely separate species, humans. Now, the hypothesis is believed to be due to natural selection. In contrast, the evidence suggests that artificial selection, such as genetic modification or horizontal gene transfer, is the means by which the foreign antigenic allelic genes were artificially introduced into the modern human genome, okay? Not through natural sexual reproduction. In nature, separate species will not mate together, nor are they naturally capable of sexually reproducing due to chromosomal incompatibility between different species. Different species of organisms possess different numbers of chromosomes, which code for different genetic sequences. Chromosomal disorders in the process of cellular division and mitosis results in trisomy, extra chromosomes, and mesonomy, missing chromosomes. Chromosomal disorders can lead to pregnancy loss, such as hematologic disease of the newborn, the Rh incompatibility between the antigens and allelic genes and the antibodies. Okay, the antibodies are the human protein-based cells. The antigens and allelic genes are the foreign invader cells from a separate species. So the chromosomal disorder is occurring from processing error between the genetic sequence between different genomes of primate and human. So there's a such thing as the ROGAM shot. And the ROGAM shot pretty much confuses the cells or causes the cells not to activate the antibodies against the foreign antigenic allelic cells in pregnancy. And that's how sometimes individuals who are Rh positive and Rh negative can still reproduce. Okay? But it's not natural. It's a man-made interference, a chemical induction that causes the body to go into a different state. Humans consist of 23 chromosome pairs from both mother and father. Primates, they consist of 24 chromosome pairs from both mother and father. Okay, so for humans, that would be 46 total chromosome pairs. In primates, that would be a total of 48 chromosome pairs. Okay, so every organism has its own set of chromosomes that is supposed to produce in sequence. Chromosomal disorders leads to both mutations and diseases. Okay, with Europeans came death, sickness, and disease. Humans and primates have completely different genomes and biochemistry. If you possess chromosomes, cells, and tissues from the primate, then you are Rh positive. That means you are a Rh carrier. if you do not possess the chromosome cells and tissues from the primate, then that means that you are Rh negative. Okay? The fusion of human genetic material with primate genetic material through the process of artificial selection, horizontal gene transfer, is the missing link to evolution theory. Okay? This is not an original life form or species that gradually developed and evolved over time. This is a new species that came about from two separate species. So I don't know if you guys heard of IVF treatment, in vitro fertilization. Okay, um, is a method in which people are able to reproduce unnaturally. Okay, it's artificial selection. What they do is they take the sperm cell of the man and they take the ovum cell of the woman, which are both reproductive cells, and they merge and fuse those cells together, and they implant that seed inside of a surrogate mother and use that individual as an incubator. All right, and from that will come that life form, not from the individual genetic information who gave birth, but from the biological donors whose genetic material was fused together. Evolution only applies to original species of organisms who naturally derived. De-evolution, okay, which is an anti-evolution, only applies to species of organisms who derive artificially, right? Not through natural reproduction. Natural definition: existing in or caused by nature as opposed to humankind. Artificial definition: made or produced by human beings rather than something that's naturally occurring, especially as a copy of something natural. About 150 years ago, scientist Charles Darwin proposed his theory of evolution through natural selection. Scientists began to accept that humans, modern humans, are of the same family tree as animals. Okay? Even today, modern humans are referred to as mammals. Now, mammals are vertebrate animals constituting the class Mammalia. Now, all animals, including modern humans, share the same distinctive features, including but not limited to fur growing from the skin, mammary glands that in females produce lactate milk for their young, keratin production, by which is a sulfuric-based chemical compound commonly found in mammals, including the parasitic infestation of lice. Only original species of organisms are able to adapt to environment, all right? So if you are not adapting to your environment, is an indication that you may not be an original species of organism. An immune response is the reaction of the cells in the body to a foreign object or substance. So individuals who are not richly melanated, okay, like African Americans or people who have any Afro type features, Afro Americans, Africans, Afro Latino, Afro Asians, Afro Indian, okay? Afro exists in many different regions in the world, okay? But we are all the same species. But what's funny is we deal with sunlight very well. We're photosynthetic life forms, okay? And the inability to process sunlight is a mutation, all right? Now, like I said, an immune response is the reaction of the body to a foreign object or substance, okay? Now, individuals who develop sunburn, melanoma skin cancer, sun poisoning, their cells is processing naturally occurring sunlight as a foreign substance. And we know that the sun and the stars are not man-made. We know that the sun and the stars are not artificial. Okay? So the truth is the light. Orthogenesis, also known as orthogenic evolution, progressive evolution or evolutionary progress or progressionism, It's a biological hypothesis that living organisms have an innate tendency to evolve in a direction towards some goal, teleology, due to mechanisms of internal or a driving force. Okay? And that would be that sunlight. This is a solar system. Thermochemical energy conversion is fundamental to life, photosynthesis. Okay? The sun is a cosmic remote control, and it dictates particle acceleration. Particles respond to the electrical signals of the sun. But when you're not a photosynthetic life form, it's impossible for the sun to lead you in your evolution. It's impossible for the sun to direct and guide you biologically. Okay? So this is their inability to evolve as artificial life forms. All right, you guys, so we know for sure from the information that was presented and from the facts that was stated that Rh negatives are the original humans, absent of genetic mutation, meaning that we are under the category of evolution. Individuals who are Rh carriers or Rh positives are hybrid humans, okay? And they have undergone artificial selection, which is genetic mutation, okay? And this is the category of de-evolution or anti-progressive biological development. So there are two different contrasting concepts. We got to understand we cannot generalize when we speak in regards to humanity because all of humanity is clearly not the same.